everybody, welcome back to the Claremont Classic Garage. Today we're going to be doing a complete brake job on our 68 Ford XL. We're going to do the back first. So we'll get the hubcaps off. Chrysler hubcaps on my Ford. And I'll get the lug nuts cracked and then we'll lift her up. Well, this is the one that's stuck. You can see it don't turn. It's probably going to be real fun getting that drum off. And also, when I had this car running yesterday, I could hear a rattle. And there you can see there, that tailpipe is hitting the frame there. So I'll see if I can adjust this hanger a little bit to get that away from the frame. But anyway, first objective is to get this drum off. I'm going to get under there and see if I can get the plug out of the bottom and see if I can back the adjustment off a bit. If not, we'll just beat her off. All right, thank goodness we finally got the drum off. The adjuster was seized. I tried backing off the adjustment. It was having none of that. But anyway, beating and banging, we got it off. We wrecked a couple of the hold downs, but that doesn't matter. We've got everything new. So I'm going to go ahead, strip this down, and also me mucking around under here. I've made the brake line leak on the rear end there, so that will explain probably why our brake warning light came on. I guess that popped last night while I was out driving it around. Anyway, we're gonna get this all apart, and I'll see you in a minute. So here's all our stuff. We've got shoes, adjuster kits, wheel cylinders, a hold down kit, a new rear flex hose, and 2 brake drums that my friend Elvio cut for me about 10 years ago. Thank you, Elvio. Yes, that's how long it took me to get around to doing this job, but we're doing it now. I got all the old junk off of there, so now we're gonna get the wheel cylinder off. I'm gonna reach behind here. I don't think this brake line will undo. It'll probably just twist off, but that's fine. We'll just make a new one. Somebody has already replaced the line that goes from the front to the back along the frame rail. That's been replaced somewhere along the line, so I guess we'll replace the lines on the axle. So I can get a wrench on the damn thing. Nice US car, I tell you. It's not every day you can reach around the back of a backing plate and undo the wheel cylinder bolts with a ratchet. Up here in the Great White North, 5-year-old cars, you're torching them off. So here you can see our old wheel cylinder. I'm shocked that at least this end is not seized. How about this end? Yeah, that end is seized. But that's okay. We got new ones. Now I'll get the wire brush and get this all cleaned up and ready for the new parts. Now we can put our new wheel cylinder on. There is left and right. Not all cars have left and right, but these are left and right. So the bleeder screw up, obviously, and the line goes out to the rear. So that's the one for this side. And with anytime you're dealing with new parts, if you want to reuse your old bolts, make sure they actually screw in, because this is probably some offshore part and it might not exactly have the thread you're expecting on it. But anyway, that's all good, so we can go ahead and put it in. I'll put some anti-seize on these bolts and we'll get them tightened up. Now we're going to extricate our push rods from the old wheel cylinder seals, and we can go clean them up on the buffing wheel and stick them in our new wheel cylinder. Now these little guys are ready to go in. We'll just put a little of this stuff on them to help them pop through the rubber. There we go. Next thing we're going to do is transfer our parking brake lever to our new brake shoe. And make sure before you go start putting this all together, you actually got the right brake shoes, you know. But that's the right brake shoe. These are 11 and 1/32. Don't ask me why. That's kind of an odd. And The one with the shorter lining is the primary shoe. It always goes to the front. There we go. You can see here, this old one, see it's starting to crack. These are old riveted shoes. It was starting to crack and swell behind it. That's why, that's rust in behind there starting to push out. And that's what was locking up this brake. Wasn't that nice of them? They gave us new ones. They don't always. So we'll go swap this over and I'll be right back. You just open that up with a screwdriver, put the new one on, squeeze it with a pair of pliers. So you can see that together. It's got a little Belleville washer that goes behind it to keep it from rattling. Now I'm going to put a little anti-seize here where the brake shoes sit on the backing plate. You can put grease there too. I use this stuff. Personal preference. Now I'm going to start putting this back together. I do not have the coordination to put the shoes together and then hang them on the car. I've never been able to do that. But anyway, I do it my way. So we just get this thing hooked onto the parking brake cable. Like that. Then it's going to go, you can see there is our hold down goes through there. You get all new hardware for this baby. Well, look at that. They gave me new Belleville washers for the parking brake lever, and because it was stuck in there, I didn't know I had it. Look. How do you figure that happened? And there's special tools for these too. Here's my special tool. I'm an old-time hacker. Anyway. Luckily, I'm not on flat rate, so I'm not really in a hurry to do this. Or else I'd probably figure out quite quickly how to do it the way everybody else does it. Air brakes didn't have nearly this many parts. Okay. And there we go. There's that shoe on. Now what I have to do, this is the cross shaft, or the strut, I think is what they call this for the parking brake. So I'll just get this cleaned up with a wire brush and we can stick that in here. Then we'll get the other shoe on. Important to note, this is the only spring that they don't give you a new one of, so don't lose it. Yeah, that guy goes in there. Okay. Now more goo. Oh yeah, love the goo. And then this little guy goes on, right? There. And now, oh, my favorite part, new stuff. This guy goes in there. That goes on there. There we go. And then this. Whoop. Okay. Now we get the other spring. And it goes on there. Or it's supposed to go on there. There we go. So to put this together, you put the arm on, you connect the spring, and then you spread them apart and put the star wheel in. Then what we're going to do is hook the cable on there, and twist this bad boy up, and get the cable hooked onto there. So the last step is to get this hooked in there and hooked in there, and then test it. See, that's not working, right? So we got to just give this a little twist. All right, give me a sec. There we go. So it's working now. That's good. Now what we'll do is we'll get a rough adjustment. You can see there that's way loose, right? So we'll adjust it up. All right, we've got that now, so it's got just a little play in it. That's close enough, and we'll do the final adjustment once we're done. Now I'll go do the other side, and I'll see you when we're done. We'll make up the new steel lines for the axle and change the flex hose and get it bled up. Well, this side went great. No trouble at all. Something on these old Fords, the brake drums fit so tight against the register on the axle. Put some anti-seize on there. It'll help you next time you have to take it off. Now we can get underneath and get the lines done. We're under the car now. I'm just taking the old brake lines off the rear end so we can make new ones. Here's our old flex hose and the axle lines. Definitely seen better days. So we'll make new ones. We've got a new one of this. We just have to swap this bracket over to the new one, and we can put it all back together. Here we are. We've got this brake line out, and now we're going to try and duplicate it. That's the end that goes into the wheel cylinder, so we want the long nut on that end, which is what we've got. Now, this line looks to be just about the right length, but we'll see. There's lots of way to bend this stuff. There's all kinds of little tools you can get. You can bend it just with your fingers too, you know, like you're going along here and you can go, okay, we got to put a little bend like that. You can, you know, somewhat bend it like that and use the actual bending tools for the more complicated stuff. See, that's not too bad, eh? We've done a few of these. This here, look at that. This one was not long for this world either. Back when I was a kid, when we used to do brake lines, they'd sell these things pre-made at Canadian Tire, and you'd go and get the one that was the closest length to the one that you needed. And if it was a little too long, you'd put a zigzag in it or something. Or sometimes they were too short, and they had them in all different lengths, so you could calculate what two lengths you needed, and they had little joiners to put them together. We did what we had to do to keep our jalopies on the road. You know, it was different times. Like it might be a little short, but we're going to make it work one way or the other. Well, I think I've got it close. We're going to find out though, aren't we? Here you can see we've got our new brake line to the right rear wheel. Now we have to make the little short one that goes to the left rear wheel. And it broke when it came out, but it kind of goes like that. We've got our short line for the left side made. Now we just have to put a inverted flare on this end of it. And yes, I remembered the nut. For any of you that have been down that road before. I got a bad feeling that all that did was push the thing through the... No. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, there we go. We've got a nice inverted flare. Perfect. Here's our new line all made up. I'm going to go install it. All right, we got this one in. It's back in its little clip. Both ends are tightened. Now we're going to bleed it up. Deb gave me a hand and we got them bled up. It's all good. Now what I got to do is crawl underneath there with my brake spoon and get them adjusted up. And then we can put the wheels on. Oh, and I have to fix this. That'll drive me nutty. Nutty, 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 nutty. I adjusted the hangers and got the exhaust pipe to stop banging on the frame. It doesn't have to have a ton of clearance. It's got about 3/8 of an inch there now. That's all it needs. Now I can get it off the stands, get the wheels back on, and we'll take it for a spin and see how the brakes feel. I also adjusted the parking brake. I can't believe it, but these are all the original cables from 1968, and they still work. Even more impressive was the adjuster actually moved. So it was the pedal was going right to the floor and it wasn't really grabbing the wheels. So I just adjusted it probably about 3/8 of an inch along the cable, and now it goes about 3/4 of the way down before it gets good and tight, and it locks the wheels solid. So that's perfect. Now we'll get her on the ground and get the wheels torqued up. I got the wheels torqued up. Now I can put the hubcaps on. A little story about that. I've got the original wheel discs that were with this car. When I got this, it had its original wheels. They're 15 by 5, and they take 215 75/15 tire, and they're kind of skinny, and it makes the thing looks like it always wants to tip over because they're way far in. So what I did, I got a set of 15 by 7 Chrysler wheels. These come on all those 1980s Fifth Avenues and LeBarons and stuff. There used to be millions of these wheels around. Not so much anymore, but you could still find them. They're a proper full 15 by 7, which allowed me to go with a 225 70/15 tire, and the extra 2 inches of width are out here, kind of, you know. And well, it's probably an inch in the back and an inch in the front, but it gets them out a little bit toward the body, and I don't know. To me, it just looks nicer. The problem was the Ford hubcaps refused to stay on the Chrysler wheels. So I said, well, I got to find some Chrysler hubcaps. So I kind of like, these cars were available with a turbine wheel cover, and it's a much finer turbine than these. There's probably at least double the amount of spokes. But anyway, these kind of give you the same idea, and I think they look pretty good on there, and at least they stay on. Alrighty, time to take it for a road test. That's all done. Thank goodness. The back brakes are all done. That was where the big problem was. It still needs the front brakes done, but there's nothing catastrophic going on there. They're just wore out. So we'll do them another day, and I may kind of do 2 for 1. And I have to rebush the control arms and maybe kind of do that all in one shot. That could probably fill up a video. Changing 2 rotors and a set of pads, I don't know how exciting that really would be. But anyway, I'm going to take off now. We made it. We're ready for Ford night at cruise night, so long as the weather holds off. But anyway, I'm uber confident that we'll get the show in tonight. Well, so much for that. This is our local cruise, our hometown cruise, and I don't know. We come up here and there's a few people here, but it's canceled or something. The park is locked. Oh, here comes somebody in a Jeep roaring up the backside there. They're in the park. So I'm not sure what's going on, but I guess we'll find out. So nobody's sure what's going on. There wasn't really any announcement on social media that it's canceled or anything. I don't know if it's ever been canceled, but it's possible, with all these forest fires and stuff going on in Ontario and Quebec, that the township shut it down on short notice or something. Don't ask me. Anyway, we're heading home, I guess. So much for Ford night. But Deb says sometime in the future there's convertible night, so maybe we're still going to be in luck. Well, there we are, back safely home in the garage. At least, if anything, it was a good trip up to town and back. The brakes are working great. The car's running great. The front end's a little funny. It kind of wanders around a little bit. That's going to need some attention, but we've got all the parts to do that. That's going to be an upcoming project. So I guess some good came out of this. Anyway, I got to take off. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you'll come and see us again. And until then, this is Kevin saying so long from the Claremont Classic Garage.